As the death count grew, they may also have been covering up Hitler's sexual history. Although evidence of sexual indiscretions by the Führer had been murderously suppressed, always there were whispers that he'd been a male prostitute in Vienna and Munich as a youth, that he'd been listed as such in Viennese police records, that his foppish mannerisms went suspiciously with his surrounding himself with practicing homosexual companions and co-workers. The homosexual Rome had once made him a protégé. Maybe Rome had to die not only because he had too much power, but because he knew too much about Hitler's past.
Question: was Barack Obama ever a Muslim? He says no. But the Associated Press found records that show Obama was enrolled in school as a Muslim while living in Indonesia. And Obama's campaign said it couldn't explain why. Maybe it doesn't matter if Obama were a Muslim back then, but it does matter if he is not telling the truth about it now. The National Campaign Fund is responsible for the content of this ad.
From the mid-30s, from 1936 on, Hitler and his propaganda sections made a great effort to win over the Arab peoples of the Middle East.
We see that the undisputed leader of the Palestinian Arab national movement of the 1920s, 1930s and 40s, Haj Amin al-Husseini, the Mufti of Jerusalem, was a fervent admirer of Adolf Hitler.
The Mufti was one of the founders of the radical Islamic movement, and Hitler saw at once that this man not only could serve his purpose, but wanted to serve his purpose.
There is a very important meeting between Hitler and the Mufti of Jerusalem on the 28th of November 1941, of which we have a full protocol. And what Hitler explains is that this is first and foremost a war of extermination against Jewry, and he tells him to lock this secret in his heart. He is revealing it to the Mufti. It's extraordinary he should choose the leader of the Palestinian Arab National Movement for this revelation, which is in an official German document.
It seemed strange to us that a Mufti who was not a pure Aryan was being received by Hitler. But they said, no, we have the same goal, which is the extermination of the Jews.
The Mufti was sent to the Balkans, where he raised a Bosnian Muslim SS division.
He had several SS divisions, the Handschar division, for example, where they had nominally Croatian officers, but the rank and file of the unit were entirely Muslim, Arab Muslims, and they were bringing them in from all over the world.
I was utterly astonished that the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem had raised a Panzer division of Bosnian Muslims to fight along the Waffen-SS. The fanatic Muslim world and Hitler both agreed that no ideology can exist beyond theirs. It's all-encompassing.
A secular dogma like Nazism is less dangerous than this Islamofascism that we see today. It's less dangerous because Islamofascism has a religious twist to it. It says God the Almighty ordered you to do this, not the Führer. You know, so it is way more dangerous. It's trying to grow itself in 55 Muslim states, so potentially you could have a success rate of several Nazi Germanys if these people get their way.
It's a very feminine culture. They're very effeminate with their whole black eyeliner and their little guns and their flowers and holding hands and everything.
There is a very strong homosexual tradition in which an older man will kind of adopt a young man and become lover, become student, and teach him whatever skills he may have. The Taliban leader, Mullah Muhammad Umar, attacked and killed a warlord who was keeping young boys as his concubines. And in fact, that move was the start of the Taliban movement. It was a movement against oppression. So one of the first things Mullah Umar did was to ban homosexuality. But in fact, I mean, given the sort of long-standing traditions of this in southern Afghanistan, this continued. But it was done very surreptitiously because the Taliban had very strict rules about it.
From the sort of liberal PC left, who found it demeaning for me to make them look like this. And they chose to look like that.
These images are very, very typical of the kind of pictures that people are taking today.